Good morning, good morning. Merry Christmas and all that jazz. Right, so I've just given the bike a wash. As I said in my last video, she was looking a little dirty. So she's all clean, and I've gone out now to give it a bit of an air dry. Just after cleaning it, we had a downpour, and obviously the annoying thing is when there's a downpour and you've just washed it and you've given it a bit of a degrease. I always like it dry on the ground, so that if there is any oil or anything that's dropped onto the tyres, it's not so greasy. So now I'm on a quite noisy. Oh, and the wind's, it's a bit windy too. You always like to give it a bit of an air dry. I don't have a compressor, so just tend to let a bit of windage really clear out all the bits and pieces. So anyway, let's try and keep in the lane. I'm hoping that the traffic lights up here are green when I get to them. The reason being is, if you're like me and you ACF 50 or ACF 50, ACF 35, whatever it is, you throw some of those water displacement chemicals all over your bike, for the first, let's say, hour of running, it is burning off those chemicals. And if you don't really know much about bikes, you're sat at traffic lights and your bike is steaming, it can be quite concerning for other road users. So I tend to where possible, I tend to try and just time it where I'm not going to have any of those dramas. But yeah, people think your bike's on fire. These lights aren't usually too bad. I don't have panniers on, and I'm not going to get through them, am I? Not too steamy. I think it's because the temperature's potentially a little bit low. Right, what do we reckon? BBZ, the BBZ carry, is he going to try and nip in? No, he's not. Person is going into the crossbush. She's quite noisy today. She's due an oil change in probably a couple of 100 miles, but not quite yet. So I'm going to do Arundel, Berry Hill, because that's always fun on a slippery road. Amberley, Storrington, Findon, and then Rustington. So you can do a loop. It's probably actually, despite the roads being wet, one of the best days recently we've had for that's come off the back of a truck that has all that foliage on the road. Yeah, it's probably some of the best. This is probably the best we've had it. We've had sideways wind, rain, all sorts recently. It's just thrown a spanner in the works for any kind of motorcycling where you don't have any other options. So it's like, obviously my first choice is jumping on the bike. It's just in every sense preferable for me. But when you've got Gore-Tex penetrating wind and rain, you just, you know, you lose any kind of oh, there's a traffic car headed up Berry Hill. Yeah, you kind of lose any kind of aspiration to get out, really. So alright, slowly catch your monkey. We don't want any oil catching us out this morning. Definitely not. Cleans his bike and goes out in shocking roads. What do you reckon? Traffic? Is that a traffic vehicle? I don't think it is, do you? Two's up, or is that a, yeah, they're two up, aren't they? I'm looking forward to touring this year. It's been a long time since I've done any kind of touring on the bikes. I have missed it. really one of those things, isn't it? Circumstance, you know, life gets in the way unless you make a conscious effort. And it's certainly in my position, if you're going to go out touring, something's got to give. You know, it might have to be a family or a couple's holiday or something alike, and I just haven't had that. Although there being no restrictions on it at all, just haven't had that pleasure recently where selfishly I could say, yep, right, I'm heading off for 10 days or a week touring around Europe, you know, or wherever. Oh, you've got a shoot going on. Hamdall Park shoot. Let's try not. Yeah, I just haven't had the opportunity to really get away. So I think it will be nice to set a few things up like that. So I think we're doing a West Country trip on some of the Tets. And I think we're going Austria that way come Mud on the Road. Austria come August time. May. Yeah. So we're going to wait and see what happens there, but definitely the one for the Tet in the UK, because that's not too much of a struggle. To anti-fuzz my helmet again. Oh. So today's the 29th. Don't know about you, but work this morning. I just feel that sometimes I want to water's high. I kind of look forward to getting rid of the Christmas period. You know, I've kind of done it now. You know, we're there. As much as I love Christmas time with the family, it can just be a little overwhelming at times where there's just too much in such a short amount of time. Too much food, too much overindulgence. Oh, I've got a puddle. Yeah, just too much of everything, really. And I am very fortunate, I've got so many good people around me. It's hard not to be appreciative, but sometimes you just think, oh, I just need bit of a break. So that's one of the reasons why I thought I'd take a trip out on the bike this morning, or this afternoon now. Just hit a bit of a reset button, a bit of a refresh, you know. I think one thing that certainly car drivers don't really get is the therapeutic nature of just getting out on a bike. I think it's quite hard to describe, if I'm honest. There's something really nice just getting out on two wheels, and actually cycling as well. Although there's a little bit more effort involved, but you know, just getting out on a bike on two wheels, whether it be going over the downs like over there, which I have done in past life frequently, or just getting out on your motorbike for, you know, 30 minutes or so. One thing I did do yesterday was price up a new GS. So I priced up a GS Trophy 1300s, bolted a few extras on it. Came out at just over £26,500. Which I'm not going to lie at, I thought was slightly excessive. And then I went on to Auto Trader and had a look at a 2-year-old GS 1250, similar kind of spec with full panniers and 10,000 miles. 50% of the value. It's half price basically. 24-month-old motorcycle had lost 50% of its value. Now you could argue that it's because they brought out a new one and the prices adjust for that, and it might not lose much more over the coming years. But I find that shocking. That, you know, that assuming that person bought that bike outright and didn't finance it, you know, it probably cost them about £1.50 a mile in depreciation. Now, again, arguably you can't buy that kind of, if they went on touring on it, that life experience, you can't really put a price on it. Let's assume they didn't. It sat in the garage for 8 months of the year. That kind of hurts and doesn't make sense. And I certainly, as someone that loves motorcycles, I have a big problem in that. Although it's not me spending that money, I just think, don't get it. You know, if you had 26 grand in the bank, and your bank manager said in the next 24 months we're going to half it for you, you'd be pretty peed off. Well, I would anyway. I just think, you know, it's a hell of a depreciation on a bike. So it begs the question, was the bike worth that in the first place? You know, I know this GS hasn't got all the bells and whistles on it like the new ones. I probably doubled my money on this. You know, I know classic motoring isn't for everyone. But I just, yeah, I think you've got to be in a financially very competent position to be happy with losing that kind of money, £13,000 or £6,000 a year on a motorcycle, maybe as a weekend toy. And a friend of mine commented on a post that I put, he's one for always having some pretty smart stuff. He mentioned that he spec'd up a new anniversary R1. He said that it thank you, dickhead. He spec'd up a new R1. Anniversary edition, it was like 30 grand. And I get that the bikes aren't, you know, I can't live in the 80s and the 90s and go, well, back in my day you could buy a bike for this. But those prices are massive, aren't they? You know, 30 grand for a sports bike. It's not even, I don't know. A review that I did of the BMW, the electric one. You know, 16 grand for that thing, I think it was from memory. You know, that's a lot of money as well. You know, 16 grand for effectively something you got to charge every 40 minutes. But in my world, and I think it's all relative, isn't it? You know, I have got a few bikes and some classic cars, and have I always bought things based on fiscal, what would you say, being financially sound choices? Absolutely not. Maybe it's an age thing. Maybe now looking at things I value things a little bit more, and in my earlier days I was slightly more reckless with spending because I believed there would always be more money tomorrow. I don't know. But certainly today, despite being comfortable, I certainly wouldn't be going out and spending 30 grand on a brand new R1. You know, I spent quite a bit of money on Ducatis over the years. Not apart from my wife's Ducati Monster, I don't have one to my name, which is the first time since I think I was about 18. And I have spent a lot of money on those machines over the years. You know, there was a time of which I didn't ride one of them. I think it was the 996 or the 748 was one of those two. I didn't ride it for 4 years. I had another bike that I just used, so it sat there. But I still had it serviced, MOT'd, and you know, arguably I didn't make any money on that bike. I probably broke even. I think that bike certainly I just found a pleasure to look at. At the time, if I could have had that in my garage, I probably would have done. Sorry, in my lounge, I would have done. And certainly now, it's worth a lot more than what I sold it for. Renowned for being slippy, this roundabout, so let's just take it nice and easy. I am on quite aggressive off-road tyres on this thing, so and they are relatively good on the grip, but let's not push our luck. Anyway, yeah, 26 grand for a new GS, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. I know there's a lot of motorcycle vloggers out there, probably all of the main ones to be honest, and they all have them in their garage. Now I don't know whether that's because the viewers or the volume of traffic they get to their channel warrants an attractive deal, and I'm not debating or questioning how good those bikes are. These bikes, you know, they are fantastic. They are fun, exciting, commutable, you can tour. We've seen some people go on a track with them and perform exceptionally well. So we can't challenge the fact that they're good. That's not in question. It's how can something how can you, not you, where, okay, here's the question, where is the justification and where is the added value in losing something or in purchasing a depreciating asset at that level? Again, I don't know. Are you getting that amount of benefit? Now maybe because I don't have a 1300 GS or 1250, maybe if I was to have one, then I would have a slightly different approach, possibly. So maybe in that sense I need to educate myself. I have ridden the 1200 GS. I've ridden all sorts of GSs actually, to be honest, but not the 1300. So maybe I need to do that before casting judgment. Well, anyway, cleaned the bike, took it for a black, got it dirty again. Today we were meant to have no rain, none, nada. We've had loads. I wonder if that's a byway. So I used to run that route and I cycled it. It would be interesting if I could get the bike down there. It joins up with Myrtle Grove Farm, which is just over the side of this hill. We've definitely burnt off some of the stink now. What have we done? We've done about 12-13 miles, I think. Anyway, I'm going to end the video there on the assumption that my battery hasn't died anyway. As always, thanks for subscribing, listening to me waffle. I'm absolutely nothing really of value or interest apart from me questioning the value in the new GS. I'm telling you that I've cleaned my bike and got it dirty again. What else did I mention? Oh yeah, the value of getting out on two wheels and the therapeutic value. So yeah, anyway, that's it from me. Thanks for subscribing or watching, not subscribing, that's very assumptive. If you wouldn't mind subscribing, that would be handy. Yeah, right, have a good one. That's it. Ta-ra.